Hey, what's up, people? Why does this thing keep falling? Hey, girl, hey. Hey, girl, hey. Why did I miss you, knuckleheads? Let me get this charger. I don't know why this thing keep dropping. I literally just walked in the door. What's up, people? Let me get this thing right. Sit down. Don't get a headache because I'm trying to get this situated. Oh, this shit is not working. Hold on. We're going to get it together. Let me sit down. Now, you know I'm hungry. And I really wanted to get something to eat. Because I am starving. Why is this shit not working? All right, hold on. I'm going to fix this. Hey. What's up, people? Woo! Ah! Am I going to have to hold this? Like, seriously? Anyway, how y'all doing? Happy New Year and all that good stuff. It is so cold in here right now. I turned my heat off before I left because, you know, the kid was leaving for how many days? I left on Christmas, so that was on a Monday, and I came back tonight. So that's 8 days. You know this power bill was not going to be running up while I was gone. You already know that. So just got in the house. I just turned the heat on because it is freezing in here. It was like 13 degrees in New York. It was 3 degrees up in the mountain in upstate where we did the cabin. I have so much to fucking tell y'all. I don't even know if I have the energy tonight to tell you everything. I got a list of things that I wanted to talk about. Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's a good thing to be alive. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the very first Facebook Live of 2018. Look at that. Look at that. I did miss you guys. I missed you guys a lot. Like, I had no idea that I would miss you as much as I did. Miss talking to you. So the last time that I actually... this shit is not working. I'm trying my best to make it work, and it's not working. But anyway, hey girl, hey, come on in, get seated. I really wanted to come on and chit chat before tonight, but I wanted to respect everybody else's. What's up, Dijon? I wanted to respect everybody's privacy at the cabin and not come on because there were people, of course, who did not want to be on video. And I wanted to take a moment to kind of just spend some time with my friends and just it's this damn thing that I'm using. I wanted to take some time to just really, what's it called when you just pull back? Unplug. I wanted to unplug. So, but I have a lot to say. So I may not get to everything tonight because it is late. And I know some of y'all stayed up just so I could, wait for me to come on here. And I know some of y'all got to work tomorrow. You can't be fucking up the second day in the new year, okay? Getting to work late and all that jazz. So, anyway, I hope you guys had a great New Year. I got to Baltimore on Christmas night, but I'll take you. I talked to you since then, so I'll take you from the last time I saw you, which was Thursday. So Friday, we got up to the cabin. We had to get some last minute stuff on Friday morning. So we had to get some groceries. We had to get up to the cabin. It was a 2-hour drive. I did a lot of the videos. I posted a lot of the videos like driving there on my Facebook story as well as my Instagram story. My Instagram is Craig the Writer Stewart. I also put it on my Snapchat, which is Craig the Writer. So we got to the cabin. If you've ever been on a cabin trip, you know that you have to take all of the food that you're going to be taking, right? So there were 11 of us. It was 11 of us total. Several of us went to college together. I think it was about 4 of us that went to college together. And then the others, we know just through life. Like some of the friends I know from here in Atlanta, some of the people that went, my friend Danielle and some of the other people that went, they know the other people from New York or from work or whatever. So, but I had met everybody there. I knew everybody, you know, before I went, except for one guy's boyfriend. I didn't know him. But anyway, so everybody had their food. We all collectively brought food. There was plenty of plant-based food for me. There was plenty of food for me to eat. One of my homegirls from college, her name is Nature. She actually is vegan. She doesn't eat meat. So she had a lot of recipes. I learned some recipes from her. And then my friend Danielle, she's pescatarian like me, so she only eats fish. And so the 3 of us kind of came together and did what we did. But each day, different people cooked. But there were enough things at each meal that we all had enough. Like, we had options, right? We had so much food. And if you saw any of the videos that I posted, either in my Facebook story, Instagram story, or Snapchat, I got a little tickle in my throat. You saw that we had way too much food. I mean, like, we had so much food that we didn't have any room left in the cabin for the food. The cabin had a closed-in porch, and it had a table out there, but of course it was too cold to sit out there, so it was like 3 degrees up there. So we took a lot of the food and drink outside. We set it outside. And we just kept kind of rotating, at least I was. I was bringing in like cases of water, and then I'd take them back out, or we would bring in the stuff that was starting to freeze, the juices and things like that, because we didn't want it to freeze. We had so much alcohol. I mean, you would have thought we were going to be there for a month. Like, we had enough food for a month. I mean, we had vegan sausages. I learned of some products that I could buy, some new products. I learned some new recipes. So when we first got there on Friday, we got there like 4 o'clock, 10 after 4. So we unloaded everything. We unloaded our bags. We figured out where everybody was going to sleep. I actually slept in a bunk bed with my friend Dijon, who just came in here a moment ago. He had the bottom bunk. I had the top bunk. And it was like twos. It was 11 of us. So one, our friend Thomas, who planned the trip, he slept in the living room. There was a blow up. There was a, what do they call, air mattress. So he slept in the main room, in the living room. But everybody else, it was 2 in a room. It was a beautiful cabin. It was a really nice cabin, nice kitchen. The first night we got there, we did hot toddies. And so we did like this cinnamon tea, and we did Hennessy in it, and Nature made it, and she actually sprinkled like some raw sugar in it, and did some lemon juice, cut up a lemon and put in there. It was amazing. So we sat around, we talked, we had a couple of those. It was just nice to kind of catch up. This was my first time in New York in like 2.5 years. I've seen many of my friends because they've either come here or whatever. I saw Danielle, I've seen Dijon, but some of the other ones I hadn't seen. Some of the others I had seen in New Orleans back in July, because we had all met down in New Orleans for the Essence Festival. So it was just really, really nice. But what was so special about it was we did have Wi-Fi, but we could not make any phone calls. They had a home phone in there, but of course, if you needed an emergency, but we could not make any phone calls. The rule that we decided was there would be no phones at the table. When we were eating, we were just going to sit there and engage with each other. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. So like, we sat, we ate, we talked. I mean, it was really nice quality time. There was a wraparound porch. When you go outside, we took a few pictures there. That was where I took those pictures that I posted. I posted like 5 or 6 pictures. I had on a coat, and I had on this sweatshirt. And that's the other thing. When you go to a cabin, you don't take a whole bunch of clothes because you're not going anywhere. You're not going out. 4 of the people, they did a Walmart run that first day. For whatever reason, they thought we needed more stuff. Clearly, we didn't need more stuff. But they did a Walmart run. It took them over an hour to go and come back because the closest Walmart was about 30 minutes away. So they were gone about 2 hours. They went to get, they went to get more paper plates and paper towels and shit like that. But is this thing not charging? So anyway, so they went to do that, and we just sat around chit-chatting, right? So that was Friday, and then my friend Nature, she did some, she did these flatbread, like pizzas, but they were vegan. They were really good. One had like caramelized onions on it, and some other shit on it. Then she did like a California pizza kitchen, barbecue chicken pizza, but of course it didn't have chicken. And she did like the green onions on it. So we just kind of like ate and listened to music, and we just kind of talked, and we all sat up really late. Then we went to bed. Then on Saturday, my friend Sam, Samantha, and this guy, Damian, they made brunch or breakfast. They did waffles. They did chicken. We had fried fish. We had vegan sausages, which were really good. In fact, some of them ate some of the vegan sausages and were like, oh my God, these are so good. This is not meat? We were like, no, bitch, it's not meat. So anyway, we did that. I posted the video of it. Like Sam made this puree, like drizzle for the waffles. Like we had regular maple syrup too, but she did like a raspberry. She boiled like some raspberry. It wasn't jam, but it's like a preserve. She did a raspberry preserve. She put some lemon juice in it. She put something else in it. She brought it to a boil, right? And then we drizzled that on our waffles. And then we had fresh fruit, like fresh strawberries to go on it if you wanted to put on it. I mean, it was really, really good. We had salmon cakes. My friend Danielle did salmon cakes. So we had like all of these different options at every breakfast. She did these little frittatas. The frittatas were like egg frittatas, and inside it, I don't eat eggs, so I didn't eat that. But inside she put turkey sausage. But then in the one for like Danielle and my friend Nature, because they do eat sausage, they put the vegan sausage inside of that. So it was like vegan sausage inside, and it had like peppers inside. And she did it in like a little muffin pan. Very, very good. So we had a bunch of food there. We blessed the food together. We all sat around the table, all 11 of us. We sat around the table. We talked. And that day we got in the hot tub. It was 3 degrees outside. So we literally ran outside. We jumped in this hot tub. And once you get into the hot tub, I don't know if you've ever done it before, but once you get into the hot tub, you're nice and warm. Now, your ears might be a little cold. So the next time we went out there, we got a hat and we pulled the hat down to your ears. But we sat out there, we had our cocktails, or we had whatever you had to drink. We had our cocktails, we sat out there, we talked, we cut the food. Of course, I kept saying, okay, we're going to make sure there are no bears coming. Because the first night, we were going to go out there one night. And I said, no, bitch, I ain't going out here at nighttime. Because the hot tub was outside. It was on the porch, but you had to go outside of the little enclosed part. And then you had to go over to the hot tub. And I was like, no, bitch, I'm not going out there. And it's pitch black. Like, you really couldn't see your hand in front of your face outside. That's how dark it was. And so each night we had to make sure that we did not leave any food out on the porch, even though it was screened in. In the notes that the people who own the cabin, they left us some notes, and they said, do not leave any food out there because it will attract bears. So, every single time that I went to go outside for something, whether it was to bring the water in so it wouldn't freeze, or the orange juice in so it wouldn't freeze, I would look out there. I would look out the door first before I went out there, because all I needed was to step out there and to be a bear out there. So anyway, I would look out there first. So we made sure we got in the hot tub during the day. And then people kept saying, well, it's wintertime. Aren't the bears hibernating? Listen, I don't know if they're hibernating or not, but who's not going to find out is me. So anyway, We did the hot tub. We sat out there for a while, laughing and cutting up. We took pictures. We posted videos. Yes, Craig was checking for bears. And then that evening, we some of them were playing spades because we're not leaving. We're not leaving the house. So you got to find stuff to do. We had a karaoke machine. We had like cards, like I said. We had Taboo. We played Taboo. So one of the things that we did was each person wrote down 2 topics, right? So like I said, it was like 11 of us, but everybody didn't participate. But anyway, about 8 of us participated. So we each wrote down on a piece of paper. We tore like a piece of paper, and each of us took a little piece of paper, and we wrote down a topic. We folded it up, put it in a bag, mixed it up, and each person pulled out a topic, and we discussed it. And you got everybody's point of view, right? So the first topic was anal sex. The first topic was anal sex. We set the timer on a cell phone. We decided that we were going to do like 12 minutes per topic. Well, of course, the one about anal sex went on for about 25 minutes. It's so interesting that women... Okay, so here's how it is. There were 3 gay men participating in this, and then the rest were women. So it was like 5 women that were participating. Interestingly enough, the 3 gay men that were participating in this one all said that they do not enjoy anal sex and don't want to do it. And the damn women were talking about, oh, I love it. Oh, I enjoy it. And so here we are asking the women, well, have you ever shitted on a dick before? Because they don't do no prep. They don't do no preparation. So you mean to tell me you don't use an enema? You just climbing on the dick. That's what you doing? And they were actually saying they initiated it. They were the ones who the men didn't say to them, hey, can I put it in your booty? The women actually initiated it. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, so they asking us questions like, well, why don't you enjoy it? And it was just a mess. It was so crazy. So we talked about that for about 25 minutes. One of the other topics was, are HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, still relevant? Are they still viable? Are they still competitive in this society that we're in now? And someone made a really, really good point. One of the women made a really good point. She was here from London. One of the girls is here from London. She works in London. She's in investment banking. See, you got to have you some smart people around you. Amen. You got to have some good people around you. Because, see, that's what keeps you on your toes. That's what keeps you on your toes. So let me go back. So it was me. You know what I do, write books and shit and do podcasts. She's in investment banking. She's from Detroit, but she lives in London. I first met her this past summer at the Essence Festival. And then her good friend that I met her through, she's in sales, advertising sales. The one that's in advertising sales, I met through my friend Danielle. My friend Danielle works for Essence Magazine. So that's how the girl in advertising sales and Danielle met, because her company, she works for L'Oreal, sells ad space to Essence Magazine. One of my other friends, the one who planned it, he is the superintendent for the school system in Brooklyn. See, you got to have you some people around you. Amen? So what I'm saying is it's important to have interesting people around you. You got to have interesting people around you. And then my friend Samantha, she has her own school in Baltimore. She's from New York, but she got a position in Baltimore. So everybody has really great positions, okay? So it was interesting to have these conversations. So the woman from London, the girl from London, said, yes, HBCUs are still important, but it's probably time for some of these black colleges to partner up. Because what I offered in the conversation was, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of these historically black colleges and universities are in financial trouble. And I don't mean colleges like my alma mater, which is Hampton, because we have almost like a $300 million endowment. I don't mean Howard, because they have a huge endowment. I don't mean Morehouse. I don't mean Spelman. I mean places like Bethune-Cookman and some of these other little black colleges. So what she said, so after I said that, she said, I don't understand why some of these colleges don't partner up. Why is it important to have, like, I don't know how many black colleges there are, but let's just say they're 50. Why do we need 50? Why not just drop down to 25 and consolidate them? Why don't they consolidate? And so what I said to that was, so we were just having this round table conversation about that. So each person like pulled a different ticket, pulled a different topic. We talked about that until nobody else had anything else to contribute. So then, here was a topic. My friend from LA dropped it in the basket. And the question was, if one of your close friends broke up and then, okay, let me just break it down like this. Would you date one of your friend's exes? So that was the question. And is it always off limits or are there exceptions? And so that's where, and the room split. When I say the room split, the motherfucking room split. Now, if you read my first book, you know that I've experienced that. Now, I've never dated one of my friends' friends, but one of my former friends did go behind my back after I was done. And it was years that one of my former friends dated Carrington. Carrington is in my first book. And I talk about this situation in my first book. And my former friend started dating him years after Carrington and I were together, and years after he and I were no longer friends. We just went our separate ways, and so we were no longer friends. So I didn't care anymore, but it was really still shady, and it was shysty. But I also believe that there are instances where it should be okay, because I believe that people are bridges to other people. For example, I gave this example that night. If you ever saw the movie, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's called Something's Gotta Give. It's called Something's Gotta Give. It's with Diane Keaton and Jack Nicholson. And so, long story short, Diane Keaton's daughter is dating Jack Nicholson. Even though he's many years her senior, he's always dating younger women. And so they end up meeting one weekend, and he is dating Diane Keaton's daughter. They're hanging out, this, that, and the third. But then there's this chemistry between Diane Keaton and Jack Nicholson. And her daughter notices the chemistry between them. So even though she's been going out with him, she pulls her mom to the side one evening and says, you know what, Mom? I'm not really feeling Harry like that. She said, why don't you go ahead and date him? Go ahead. So I think in that instance, it's perfectly okay. So it became really heated. I'm not going to go into any names and any specifics. But two of my female friends ended up getting into this knockdown, drag-out debate. Not a fight, because we don't do all of that. But they got into this knockdown, drag-out argument about the whole situation because one of the friends had done it, had dated a guy that one of their girlfriends had dated years before. And in this instance, they were saying that it was inappropriate because the guy had broke the other girl's heart. And even though the one girl called the girl and said, listen, I have something I want to talk to you about. We're seeing each other, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you're, whatever. And the girl said, oh, that's fine, go ahead. But secretly, she had resentment behind it, and she had feelings behind it. So that whole conversation, it went left. It became really heated. Folk were crying. I was just like, are we really doing this right now? But here's the thing, what I realized and what I learned, it was necessary. That conversation was necessary because it happened on Saturday. The name of the movie is called Something's Gotta Give, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton. And one of the best movies you'll ever see. Okay, one day I'm gonna just come on here and I'm gonna tell y'all some of my favorite movies, like movies that changed my life. Speaking of changed my life, there is a new TV show, and this is on my list. There's a new TV show. My friend Daniel and I just watched it last night. It is on Showtime, and it's called The Chi. It's about Chicago. When I tell you that's my new favorite, listen, that's my new favorite TV show. It's called The Chi. If you have a Fire Stick or if you have Showtime, get on it. They just aired the first show the other day. This was the first show, so you're not even behind. Catch up. Common, the rapper, is one of the executive producers. When I say the show is fantastic, first of all, the cinematography is amazing. The camera shots, the lighting, it just looks so rich. So anyway, they got into this knockdown, drag down debate, this conversation. And at first I stopped and said, you know what, this is not the place for this conversation, because I knew the history of it. But there were people there at the cabin that didn't know the history of this friction between these two. And I didn't think that it was appropriate for them to have this conversation in front of these quote unquote strangers, because first of all, this is not what they came up to the cabin for, to see y'all arguing and carrying on. Y'all here crying and carrying on. But at some point, it was necessary for them to finish the conversation, because otherwise they would have never had the conversation. And symbolically, we were about to go into the new year. And so we said, you know what, we're going to get this all out, and we're going to leave this in 2017, because sometimes in order to heal it, you have to flush it out. And sometimes you have to go through the pain of it. You have to go through the thick of it. You know what I'm saying? And so it was necessary for them to go ahead and just talk it out. And you have to really let it bubble up and spill over, and now it can heal. Because, see, it was just so much infection in there before. And so they got it out. They hugged it out at the end. Like I said, I didn't see it happening that way, but they ended up getting it together. So that happened. I'm looking at my list. One of the things that one of the people wanted to do, which I thought was a fantastic idea, and I couldn't wait to come and share this with y'all. So one of the guys that was there, you know, the gays always come up with really great ideas. No offense, ladies, but you know, we do come up with some good shit. Hey, girl, hey. One of the gays had this idea. He had these cards, like greeting cards, like blank greeting cards, but they were like aluminum, like they looked like aluminum foil on the back. So it was a plain card. He said, I want each of us to write a letter to yourself in this card. He said, and in this letter, or in your list, you need to write down all of the things that you want to accomplish in 2018, right? He said, I want you to seal it up, put it in the envelope, put your own address on it, and I'm going to mail it to you in like 6 months. Tell me that shit wasn't brilliant. He said, and in 6 months, he said, I'm going to send it to you at some random day in June. You know, long after you forgot about it. He said, I want you to open it up, and I want you to see how much on your list you've actually accomplished. He said, so it's like an accountability partner. He said, I'm going to mail it to you. But see, here's the thing, and this is what I was going to tell you guys. You don't have to wait till next New Year's Eve to do it. On your next birthday, you can do it. On your next birthday, you and a group of friends could write it down. Or any random day. It doesn't even have to be whatever. It could be next Tuesday. You write down a list. You and 5 friends or 6 friends or 10 friends or whatever get together. And it's private. They don't have to share with you what they wrote in their letter. You don't have to share with them. You write down on the, and it doesn't even have to be a card, how we did ours, but just write it down, have an envelope so you can seal it up at the end, and then one person takes them. And now you got to give it to a bitch that's responsible. Now you can't give it to a bitch who's living out of her car. She got a bunch of shit in her car. Her house is a mess. Because 3 weeks after you do it, she ain't even gonna know where the shit is. So give it to a bitch that's responsible. Okay? Don't give it to the bitch that's always losing her car keys, losing her wallet. That's not who you want to give it to. Okay? So even if you wanted to do it like next week, the next time you and your friends get together, say, you know what, I got this idea. Now give a nigga credit now. Give me credit. And then I'm going to give credit to the guy who actually had the idea. But you write down your list of all of the things that you want to accomplish. because it's still the beginning of the year, right? So even if you do it next year or next week or next month, it's still the beginning of the year. Write down all of the things that you want to accomplish for this year. Write it down, seal it up in an envelope. 6 months later, you have one person responsible for mailing them out to each of you. And then you open it up in 6 months and you look at it and see if you are on target. That's what you do. So I thought it was such a fantastic idea. So we did that. That was one of the activities that we did. So we had all weekend to do it. He told us about that like on Friday. And we handed them all to him yesterday as we were packing up to leave, right? So we handed them all. Oh, he's in here. That's him, Damian. That's the one whose idea it was. I didn't know you watched my Facebook Lives. But anyway, so it was his idea. And he's saying he got it from a professional. He said he did it with his staff today. So Damian, where did you get the idea from? That's what I want to know. It was such a great idea. So anyway, so that was one of the activities that we did. I got to plug in this phone. Okay, sorry. I had to plug in the phone. So that was one of the activities that we did. So I absolutely love the idea. So I wrote down all of the things that I want to accomplish this year. And so I'm curious in 6 months when he mails this thing out to me, how much of those things I would have accomplished in these 6 months. So I'm excited about that. That's a great idea, Damian. That's something that you really should consistently do with people. It's a good team building exercise. Well, not team building because, you got to wait 6 months to get it back. But still, it's a good team building exercise. It's a good icebreaker for something. But anyway, so then Sunday, 3 of the girls cooked. Tiffany, Danielle, and Nicole, they did brunch. Tiffany did this French toast. Damian, what was it? It was a French toast casserole. It was a French toast casserole. When I tell you that shit was so motherfucking good, she used challah bread. Some of y'all ghetto and be saying challah. I know it's a C, C-H-A-L-L-A-H, but it's challah. The C-H is, the C is silent. It's challah bread. She breaks it up. It was fantastic. She did that. She also did shrimp and grits. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. The shrimp and grits were amazing. Everything that they cooked was amazing. But she makes her grits with chicken stock. And I didn't know that. I didn't know she put it. I fucked them grits up. It was shrimp and grits. I fucked that shrimp and grits up. So she did a French toast casserole. She did shrimp and grits. Danielle did the salmon cakes, which were amazing. And what else did we have on the table that day? It was a bunch of food on the table. I'm telling you, every meal we had several options, and we just ate all through the day. I haven't been to the gym since Thursday, since that last time I was on here talking to you guys. We had just left the gym. Remember, we were sitting in our hot panties. We had just left from the store. Tish, don't start with that shit here. Hey, girl, hey. I said hello. I said Happy New Year. You're late. Okay? So then we did the hot tub again on Sunday. We had some really good food. I'm telling you, we had some really good food. I actually saved the videos on my Instagram story. You can't save it on Facebook, but I did save it on my Insta story. My Instagram is Craig the Writer Stewart if you want to go and look at it. But it's at the top, and it's labeled New Year's Eve 2017. So all of the video is up there. We did karaoke. We did the hot tub again. We played this game called Urban Dictionary. We played Taboo. We did the champagne toast at midnight. And when we did our champagne toast, we did another activity. Samantha had this idea to write down at least five things that you're going to leave in 2017. 5 things. And we had a little fireplace, so we burned it. You guys have probably seen that before. People do that at church, but they don't burn it. They usually just drop it in a trash can or something. But we did that, but we shared them. So we wrote them out, And then we talked about, you didn't have to if you didn't want to, but we talked them out. And I wrote down 5 things that I was going to leave, that I left in 2017. No, I'm not telling you what they are. Well, I'll tell you one of them. I said that I was going to leave disappointment in 2017. I decided that I was going to leave disappointment, and I wrote down a couple of things that I was disappointed in, things that had happened. Things that had happened in friendships that I had to cut off. You know how you have to cut people off, and you sometimes wonder, well, why did that have to happen that way? Why did he have to do that? Why did she have to do that? I left that in 2017. I've decided that I'm not going to pine over the disappointment and be worrying about why that didn't happen. Shut up, LaShayla. So I did that. So we all did that, and we shared all of that. And Danielle kept saying to me, damn, I wish you had brought your microphone so we could have done a podcast. And I really did want to do a podcast up there, but I just didn't get a chance to, because I have to ship that stuff, because I don't carry that stuff on the plane. I would have shipped it. And just like some of you ordered books and stuff while I was gone, I'm going to ship all of that stuff tomorrow, which is Wednesday. You'll have it on Thursday. I just didn't get a chance to ship it. So, I just didn't get a chance to. Here's a story that I wanted to share. Oh, did you guys listen to the Cami Cakes podcast that dropped on Monday? I did make sure that I had the podcast set to drop on Monday, which was yesterday. That was a great interview. It was a really, really good interview. Really good conversation. A black woman started her own business. She worked at a hotel overnight as an auditor, as a night auditor. And she built this multi-million-dollar business. And the first question I asked her was, how long did it take you to make your first million? Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Listen, if you're going to order a So Much to Say podcast t-shirt or something, you got to order it by tomorrow, because I'm closing that order tomorrow. I posted about it the other day while I was gone. If you're going to order it, you got to order it, because people have already ordered their stuff and they're waiting for their stuff. So if you're going to order a So Much to Say podcast hoodie, V-neck, t-shirt, whatever, you got to order it by tomorrow, because I'm closing that order so that I can ship these people their merchandise. And if you want Marika to bling it out, then you got to send me a note so I'll know to send it to her, and then you got to send your coin to her through the Cash App. If you're ordering books through me, my Cash App ID is The Writer. My picture will come up. You might have to put the little dollar symbol in the front. If you order just one book, it's $20. If you order multiple books, they're $18 each. So if you order 3, that's $54, okay? But then you got to inbox me your shipping address so I know where the hell I'm sending it. Here's what I wanted to tell you. So I talked to my mom, right? Shakika told me to give her till Thursday. Y'all want to give Shakika till Thursday for me to close this order for the So Much to Say podcast? That's when she gets her direct deposit, on Thursday. We're going to wait till Thursday? So listen, my mom had told me about this story. You know Jack Daniels, the alcohol, the whiskey? Y'all ready for this? A slave. Tiffany said, okay, I guess. She's so nasty. So listen, a slave by the name Nathan, they called him Lyris also, taught the family, Jack Daniels, how to make whiskey, right? Now, I believe I told you guys this. I believe I told you guys this story before about Dave the slave. Remember I told you the story about the slave that made the floor pots, and he got a few pieces in museums around the country and shit, or around the world. And this white woman came on Antique Roadshow. the white woman came on Antique Roadshow with one of his pots, and it was worth like $45,000, $50,000. And I was all in my feelings behind it because I'm like, here, this slave and created all this pottery and shit, and his family doesn't even own any of the pottery. And here, this white woman coming up here with a piece of his artwork, undoubtedly going to take the money from that auction and put it in a trust for her grandkids for their college, or for them to start a business, or for them to buy their first house. And here, Dave's family probably living in a project somewhere, or on Section 8, or struggling to go to college. They don't even have any money to go to college, just in theory. Well, here we go again. A slave taught the Jack Daniels family how to make whiskey. Now, my mother told me this the other day. The slave actually was from Maryland. Now, you know I'm from Maryland. So it was on the news. Like, she told me this shit about a week or so ago. It was on the news, or some program she was watching, and they were talking about it on the program. Well, because he's from Maryland, it was on another program again, like yesterday or the day before. I talked to her today. She said, yeah, you know, it was on another show today. And so we were just talking about it because here this Jack Daniels family that made hand over fist, money hand over fist, as my mother would say. What does that mean? They done made money hand over fist. And here, this slave, Nathan Lyris, probably has, his family ain't getting no money from that. They're not benefiting from that. So here's what Jack Daniels is doing. Some bullshit. They're going to build a park in honor. A park? How about y'all cut us a check? Fuck that park. A park? Y'all want a park or y'all want a check? And they're supposed to set up a scholarship or something. Now, I don't know if the scholarship is for the Jack Daniels descendants. I mean, the Nathan, the slave's descendants, or if it's a scholarship in honor of this slave. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to tell you what I think they need to do. What they need to do is break off some of them shares to his family. Because clearly, if y'all know, don't we do genetic, don't we do all that genetic testing and shit? And don't we do ancestry and shit? Y'all know who his people are. Find his people and give their asses some shares of that company. That's what y'all do. And let me pay for my own scholarship. Pay for my own college tuition. Give me a check. But see, you know, this is the thing that burns me up because, see, white folks are always talking about, well, how can I use my whiteness? How can I use my white privilege to assist and fight and combat racism and white supremacy? Bitch, that's how you do it. You know y'all wouldn't have been able to create that damn Jack Daniels whiskey without this black man's intellectual property. Cut his family some of that money. Give them some shit. Give them a percentage of that business. Right. Give me a check. I'll build my own park. I just couldn't wait to come and share that with y'all. I was so mad about that. Don't make no sense. But just think about all of the businesses that are like that have been built. Y'all black folks, y'all better stop thinking. Y'all better stop believing that we shit. Y'all better know from which you come from. You better know all of the shit that we've contributed and all of the shit that we've done. The only reason that we are behind economically is because so much has been taken from us at every turn, at every point in history. White supremacy, and I'm not saying white people, because it's not all white people, but white supremacy. White supremacy has tried to tear down and cut down black folks and people of color, period, since the beginning of time. They've taken everything they could, like a cancer. They take more than what they need. And so when I say, that should burn me up. It's like the Henrietta Lacks story. I was telling y'all about that before. Some of you probably already know about it. Another woman from Baltimore. Johns Hopkins built their majority of their research on the cells of this black woman. Every major advancement in medicine, from cancer to AIDS to sickle cell, anything you can think of, this black woman's cells were used. They never paid her family. They were doing research and shit on her because her cells, there was something really unique about her cells. And they were able to use her cells, and they didn't pay her family. They didn't even know they were researching on her. And see, this is what I was saying to you gay men about PrEP. For those of you who don't know what PrEP is an HIV drug called Truvada. But it's used as a prevention pill. It's one pill, and it's used to prevent HIV, the transmission of HIV. I did a podcast about it called, now the podcast is free. I keep telling y'all to get over there and subscribe to that podcast. It's in SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn. And I did a podcast called Would You Date Someone HIV Positive? And the problem is, see, this is why I'm not quick to be jumping on no medication and shit. Because, see, you don't know what the fuck they doing. You don't know what... You got me jumping on PrEP as a prevention pill, and I'm not saying that it's not necessary, so don't be emailing me and inboxing me and shit. I'm not saying that it's not necessary for some sort of pill or some sort of a treatment or some sort of something to prevent transmission. But what I'm saying is I'm not completely sold on PrEP because it's too new. It's less than 5 years old. We don't know, or 7 years. I don't know how old it is, but the shit is new. And the bottom line is we don't know how it's going to affect people long term. So you mean to tell me all y'all gay men jumping on PrEP because you want to fuck raw? Yeah, I said it. Or because you think that it is a guarantee that you will not contract HIV. Or for some reason you think that it's a license to fuck raw. Like, I'm sorry. My thing is this. It's too new. They don't know enough about it. So what if I jump on PrEP and I'm on that shit for 5 years? What Stacy said? All right, Stacy. Come on, 2 weeks now. Right, you don't know the side effects. So my thing is, if I jump on PrEP and I'm on it for 5 years, who's to say that my goddamn kidneys won't start failing? Because every drug has effects on your kidneys. So you mean to tell me the lesser of the two evils? Yeah, I may not contract HIV, but a bitch need his kidneys too. I need my motherfucking kidneys. So I'm be walking around here on a dialysis machine. And here's the other thing. On that same podcast, I had a medical doctor on here on the show. He said with his own mouth, he knows someone personally that was on PrEP and contracted the virus. I read an article before that whole conversation. I read an article about a guy who had seroconverted, gone from HIV negative to HIV positive. He was on PrEP and thought he could fuck raw, using the drug improperly. So, I mean, you know, my thing is, I'd just rather use condoms because I'm just not sold on this idea about PrEP. And I'm just not one to be taking medicine. Shit, I don't even want to take Theraflu unless I have to. That's all I'm saying. Robert, you could have been bought them books. Here. I'm going to upcharge your books. PrEP is a pill. It's a pill. It's an HIV drug. It's called Truvada. But anyway, so I say all of that to say the reason that I brought up PrEP is because I'm comparing it. Like, it's just like you can't be jumping on shit just because the pharmaceutical industry telling you to get on it. They don't know everything. So you mean to tell me you fucking raw because you on PrEP just because the pharmaceutical industry told you that it's okay? Bitch, they can't tell you nothing if you contract it. Then what? I wouldn't put my life and all of my trust in no fucking medical field. Bitch, are you crazy? So anyway, hit the share button on this video. Somebody need that part of the story. But just like they were experimenting on Henrietta Lack, they don't even know. You don't know what they're doing. And then here's the other thing. When PrEP first came out, they were paying people to get on it. Because they didn't know nothing about it. They didn't know enough about it. So they pay you. They pay you a couple $100. You come in every 3 months. They were testing your kidneys and your organs and shit. No, you ain't gonna have to test him because he ain't getting on it. This dude I used to fuck out in California when I had moved back to the East Coast and I went back out there for book signings and shit. He told me he was on it. What? Oh, okay. And again, to each his own. If you feel like if that's what you want to do and you want to get on it, go right ahead. But as for me and my household, so anyway, they were paying folk to get on it. Now they got insurance companies paying for it. A lot of insurance companies are paying for it. But like I said, I ain't interested. Not right now. They're supposed to be developing a newer version of the same kind of drug, but it's going to work on the cellular level. It won't be a pill. It'll work on the cellular level. But anyway, enough about that. Right, be jumping on these. Listen, I knew a guy that used to jump on these pharmaceutical trials back home. He would be jumping on shit. He would be making a lot of money off of that shit. But bitch, let me tell you something. Anytime they got you taking pills and shit and they offering you $1,500, bitch, listen here. $1,500 ain't enough for me. He would be getting on these antidepressants. He would get on different kinds of pills and shit. And then he'd be having mood swings and shit. Bitch, no, you ain't about to give me. They'd be paying him like $1,800 or $900 for this. No, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Now, I've done some market research in my day. But I'm gonna tell you the shit I'm doing. I'm testing cell phones. I might go test beer. I'll pretend like I drink beer. I don't drink beer, but I'll go and pretend like I'm a beer drinker. I'll do shit like that. I'm not ingesting a motherfucking thing. And that was even when I was eating the meat. I'm not doing that. I did one on pancakes. I did that. It was a Holiday Inn Express. And they had like these 2 different type pancakes. And they wanted us to taste them to see if they should. They had one that was like a holiday flavor. It was like nutmeg and shit in it or whatever. And they wanted to know if they should use that as their holiday pancake or if they should use it year round. And so they had me taste 2 different pancakes. You know, I'll do shit like that, but I ain't taking no damn medicine and shit. But anyway, it's 1 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I need a shower because I've been on this plane. I will see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. I'll be back on here. Glad to see you, Ty. I did one on TV shows, yes. When Kelly Rowland was putting together that group, June's Diary, I had actually seen a sneak preview of that one. So they had called me in, and I watched like the first 2 episodes, and they asked if we thought it was a good show, and what did we like about it. It was all men, though. And so they paid me to do that one. So I'll do stuff like that, but other than that, I'm not ingesting nothing. But anyway, it was great to see you guys. The trip was amazing. I talked about it at the beginning of this video. I will see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. All right? It's good to be back. The kid is back. He's home. All right? Have a good night. Brush your teeth. Floss your teeth. Brush your tongue. Gargle. If you're already in bed and you know you didn't brush your teeth, maybe this is the reason why you stayed up. Not just to see me, but to get your ass up and brush your teeth. Y'all nasty with them nasty-ass yuck mouths. Ain't been brushing your teeth. Just because I ain't on here to tell you to brush your teeth don't mean you shouldn't brush your teeth. You should brush your teeth. Get up and brush your teeth. Even at the cabin, I was brushing my teeth at night. I took my floss and shit with me. All that food and stuff I was eating, I was brushing my teeth. I still do swish around the peroxide in my mouth. I know they said it's not good for you, but I still do it. I got to get some more organic coconut oil, and then I'll get back to my oil pulling. I got to get to the grocery store this week. Oh, it still ain't even warm in here yet. When I tell you that the heat's been off since last Monday, you see I'm sounding a little sniffly, just a little bit. But I need you guys to brush your teeth, floss your teeth, get up out the bed. Tiffany, no, I didn't get on my knees to say my prayer because I was sleeping on the bunk bed, so I did not do that. But I did acknowledge God every day. I did that. But no, I did not get down on my knees because I was in a bunk bed. Had my 41-year-old ass climbing up on the damn bunk. But it was cool. My friend Dijon and I, we laughed and we cut up and we talked about, we just talked about everything. We had a really good time. But anyway, oh yeah, maybe I will make me a hot toddy. How you doing? All right, have a good night.